Warning, Metal or Get the Fuck Out is intended for a mature audience even though it may not come off that way. The content you learn are for entertainment only and not educational purposes. The hosts do not always know what they are talking about, but take it very well. In closing, if you take your metal too seriously or have a stick up your ass, then by all means, please, get the fuck out.
As the biting wind howls and the night oppresses, a lonely figure enters the deep dark recesses of a cathedral made of iron, steel. Oh yes, a cathedral of metal. Bigfoot opens an ancient dusty book and discovers the secret. The secret he has searched for time immemorial. 5 million years ago, when the earth was created. And then, nothing. Silence. But deep beneath the crust of the planet, the bellow of a demon and the sound of a ringing metal hammer. Once, twice, and on the third ring, the birth of metal. Metal, get the fuck out with Monster and Doom.
Hello. 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 Wow. That's right. Welcome to Metal or Get the Fuck Out, otherwise known as Metal or GTFO. This be episode 33. Ermager. I did get the episode number correct, right?
Yeah, you did.
Wow, I am beyond stellar sometimes. I amaze myself.
You have also amazed me.
Oh, glad I can be of amazement to you. And amusement at the same time. Metal or GTFO can be found at the aptly titled metalorgtfo.com. Yes, that was so simple. It's like, oh, what's the name of the show? Metal or GTFO. Well, why don't you just name a website after it? Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. Boom, there you got it. It's symmetry. It all works well together. It's like Coca-Cola. We kind of taught the world to sing in perfect harmony and created a show and a website based around the same name. Right?
No Mars.
No Mars.
There's some old commercial with Spike Lee.
Oh, yeah, the dude, the basketball guy and stuff, right?
Yeah, something. I don't know. I just remember the comedy. I'd be like, no Mars.
Wow, way too kind of
obscure reference no one else got. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Wow, that's awesome, bro. Cool story. Metal or Get the Fuck Out can be found on various social media outlets such as Twitter at twitter.com/metal or GTFO. Facebook, facebook.com/metal or GTFO show. Of course, our email is metal or GTFO show.com. We're on the iTunes and we're on the Spreakers. So, oh yeah, and what's the other one? Stitcher. But do we do the show?
There also, yeah.
Yeah, we're on Stitcher, but we do the show live on Spreaker right now. We know we do get live listeners, which is always awesome. Waiting for the Canadian to come in. Come on, Canadian. Nah, he's not here yet. That's okay.
He's tapping the trees. Here.
He's on Canadian time. There is a chat. I don't know how to get to it from your window, your vantage point, but it's there.
And I did get an email that they updated the Android app. So if someone, I know someone was listening on a mobile device. So if it was Android, they updated it for better performance and stuff. So hopefully
they did update it. I just haven't updated my version yet. I should take a look at it. No, I'll do it later. In amongst checking for KitKat updates, right?
Give me a break.
Break me off a piece of that KitKat Android. Yeah. And what else?
What else? Metal Monday, given by Metal GTFO. That's us. Over at the Unappreciated Scholars site. We didn't give them a heads up as to what we were talking about this week because it was slightly up in the air. You're kind of deciding things last minute.
Not true. Not true. And I'm going to tell you why. They asked us what to play, and I told them to play some, I think it was Bathory?
Behemoth.
Behemoth. Well, I was wrong with the Behemoth, but still, they could have played that. But they went their own way, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm not madly in anger with them or anything.
No, of course. They played a Viking Metal track by the powerhouse Falkenbach. The track off their newest album, Asa, ASA, because he's pronounced Asa. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of the song in German, but it translates to My Last Word. And I don't want to insult super German fans' wife by murdering her language. So,
yes, you do.
Go check that out, unappreciatedscholars.com.
Mm-hmm.
Follow them on Twitter at Unscholars, and they have their own podcast, which doesn't seem to be too regular. I know they have 3 episodes out. They're working on the 4th, so go there, check them out, listen up.
I think it's all
Stitcher and stuff like that. Stitcher.
It's always tougher in the beginning to kind of get one off the ground, get it started, get a regular rhythm to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're 33 shows in and still can't do it. I'm 400 or 500 into my podcasting career, and whatever.
Nada.
Nope. So, oh man, let's see here. Goose and I actually met up this past weekend to go see Thor.
It was the official Metal or GTFO winter party. I'm surprised no one else got the invite.
I know, right? Phew. I bet nobody will show up to the next one in December.
Jeez. Yes, we saw Thor 2.
Well, yeah, Thor 2. Not 2 as in also, but Thor, the Dark World. Do they even call it Thor 2?
You know, I don't think so. I think it was just called Thor the Dark World.
Huh. Yeah, that's right. It is Thor the Dark World. Very nice. It's kind of odd. I've seen Goose twice in the past 3 months.
Which is probably the most you see each other in the past 3 years.
Right. That's not even more than that, because I've been down in southern New Jersey for 6 or 7 years now. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a while. There he is! Our Canadian friend joined the show. J.R. Morningstar. He calls us silly sons of bitches. Oh, that's sweet. But yeah, so it's we got together, watched some Thor, had some Panera, and discussed all things metal.
Had some M&M's, some candy treats.
Oh snap! I had some snow caps. That shit's brutal.
We had the theater we go to is this kind of modern, I guess, theater you can call it.
Did you say modern?
They have reclining seats. They're like cushiony reclining seats, all brandy new. No popcorn stains on them.
Or cum stains.
And I heard someone say, I don't know if I can get used to this, or I don't know if I can relax in this. Like, dude, it's a recliner.
What?
If you can't relax in a recliner, your issues are further reaching than just relaxation.
Somebody actually said that in the theater?
Yeah, right before the preview, I think, started. I can't get comfortable in this thing. Like, go back to your horse and buggy, old man.
Yeah, seriously. What is up with that? Bro. Oh, you know what? That was...
fall asleep. I might get comfortable.
I realized the guy who said that. It was the guy in a wheelchair.
Aw. I have feelings. I might feel things right now.
Yeah, like your pants. Oh,
no.
Did we tell the people who we are? I forgot. No.
I'm Goose.
And I'm Barry M. Lumbersquatch.
Oh, yes.
I've officially changed my name.
The new moniker.
Lumbersquatch.
Origins unknown? Or?
The origins?
Origins of Lumbersquatch?
I honestly don't know. I was just kind of thinking I was, Barry Monster. I just didn't like it. I haven't, if I get called a lumberjack sometimes at work because I wear a lot of plaid shirts and, with the beard and all, and sometimes I wear my beanie hat, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. Somehow I brainstormed and I put the two words together and came up with that. And that's it. I know you're not supposed to give yourself nicknames, but I don't have friends, so who's going to give me a nickname?
That's good. It's a true story.
So, yeah, whatever. I do it myself. I do what I want.
What?
So, hello to everybody out there listening in live Spreaker land. I hope you enjoy the show. And JR Morningstar, for the record, Canadian time is good times all the time. What? He's true. That's a true story, JR Morningstar. Mm-hmm. So, Goose, why don't you take it away?
I will take it away with some news around Marilla.
Some who?
That Metal Show from VH1 Classics is getting a 13th season. But instead of recording them all, which I didn't know they did this, they used to record a show over several days of 1 week in LA, and then just obviously aired it week after week. But this time it's going to be shot in New York City.
Oh, interesting.
It's going to be 12 episodes. They can get the longest season yet. And it's going to be... Did I put what's going to be taped? I don't think I copy-pasted that. You dummy. Well, anyway, it's going to be taped in New York.
Right.
And it's going to tape on, like, let's say a Thursday, and then air on a Saturday. And it will premiere on January 18th of next year.
Wow.
No guests were listed, so I don't know who's going to be on the first episode or who they have in the, in the ranks there. But
if they don't have Overkill and Anthrax at least on one episode, I'm not saying even the same episode, then there's absolutely no purpose in being in New York, because you're coming to New York to obviously kind of get bands that might not be able to get onto the West Coast at the same time you're taping. So I want to see some Overkill. I know they've been on the show before, Overkill and Anthrax, but I want to see more. What other bands should be on? I'm sure I would think, Jamie Josta did a call-in, so
yeah,
I could see Hatebreed being on it.
I said this before, but I'd like to see more, I guess, modern metal bands. They have a lot of the older bands, and that's fine, because that's, some of the guys are older, which is, whatever. But I like to see, like, more harder bands, basically death metal bands or something like that. At least one. I mean, it seems to be like they have one, like, really hard metal band on. Everyone describe it thrash metal, and then the rest is all older guys.
Yeah.
On, like, their sixth band.
I agree.
Stuff. Younger acts.
Yeah, I would like to see some of the newer stuff. I know they do it when they have like their picks of the week or something. Sometimes a lot of the CDs are of newer bands, and some of the older bands that come on talk more about the newer bands than the actual guests do. But I think it's kind of like their age. It's what they grew up in. It's almost like us. We kind of talk about the '80s stuff and the '90s stuff because that's what we kind of were brought up on, and we're just kind of really assimilating more with the newer stuff. So, it's and plus it's on VH1 Classic. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
It's on VH1 period.
There's no VH1 period channel.
No, I mean, it's not.
Too late.
Son of a biscuit. Alright, next story. AC/DC for Christmas #1. Now, I had to kind of investigate this a little bit because it's a UK thing. But apparently, in 2009, they did this also, and it worked. They did it with Rage Against the Machine. Apparently, they get a campaign going. This year, it's a Facebook campaign to get AC/DC's Highway to Hell to nab the ever-prestigious UK Christmas #1 spot. Now, from what I gathered, it's done by sales, I guess, over a certain amount of time around the holidays.
Right.
But the main thing is they want to beat X Factor. Like if X Factor has some holiday album or something like that, they wanted to beat that.
Okay.
So the site went up at the time I read the story. The story went live. It was 4 days, and they got 85,000 fans on Facebook. Now I just checked before the show, and they were up to I think 110,000. So basically, they vote. I guess they vote with their wallet. They buy Highway to Hell, or however the voting system works there, and they try and get it to be the #1 song for the Christmas holiday. If you want to find out more about it or sign up, you go to facebook.com/ACDCXmas, all one word, and you can find out more information there. But I think that's awesome. I'm all for beating X Factor or any kind of talent show type thing.
Do you think that they can do it though?
I mean, if it worked Rage Against the Machine, I can't see it not working with AC/DC.
Yeah, because AC/DC is obviously a bigger band than Rage.
I'd hope to God they have a larger fan base after 40 years.
Yeah, I think they can do it. But it's still, you never know. Sometimes people just don't want to get behind something, even as awesome as that sounds. People just get lazy. And they're like, all right, we did this already. We did this with Rage. But we'll see.
Pretty cool. So
I expect you
to page out and stay posted. See how it's doing.
Yeah,
Let you guys know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I expect you to keep us updated.
Oh, more work.
Yeah.
And the last one is there's been, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a lot of bands that are putting out these ugly ass holiday sweaters. I mean, they're intentionally, of course, ugly. And usually on sale, I don't think a lot of them are on sale like all Christmas, like for a long time. I think it's just like a 1 week long thing. They're always different. But they're holiday sweaters. I've seen a Demo Driver one. I've seen a couple other ones.
Slayer's had one.
Yes.
Which I think is probably
recently. I mean, I didn't see a Slayer one recently. It might have been
last year.
Holidays.
Yeah.
But there was a Anthrax Hanukkah sweater on Metal Sucks, and I saw it, and of course I immediately thought, holy crap, I have to own this. So I read the story, and I followed the links. If you click the buy here link, it's a stupid like gotcha image of some guy with his shirt on, and he's all sloppy. So there was actually no shirt, no Anthrax Hanukkah shirt. Hopefully, maybe someone Anthrax will take this on and actually get one made. It'd be awesome.
But are you going to wear it?
So guys, make it happen, please.
Are you going to wear an Anthrax Hanukkah shirt?
Hell yes.
See, and this is kind of where the PC police, I fear that they see somebody wearing a Hanukkah shirt, they would think, oh my God, he's making fun of Hanukkah, or they're making fun of Hanukkah, and then it becomes this whole big garbage crap thing, because it's all well and good to, do Christmas shit and make fun of Christmas and everything, meaning behind it, whatever you want to call it, but when you start treading away from it, that whole area, that sect, the whole Christianity thing, and treading on other people's religions.
That's true. I thought you didn't like it because you knew they wouldn't make one in your size.
Is that like a size joke?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. No, I wouldn't wear it because I'm not Jewish. So to me, I would think they would be smart enough to make a Hanukkah and a Christmas one, but it remains to be seen. I mean, didn't Black Label Society do one?
Ooh, not sure.
Yes, actually, J.R. Morningstar, he asked in the chat room, is anyone in Anthrax Jewish? Scott Ian is Jewish. His actual name, I think, is Scott Ian Rosenberg, or something like that. Let me look it up for you real quick. Scott. Yeah, Ian isn't his real name. I'll tell you right now. Scott Ian Rosenfeld. So I was a little close. So there's your little tidbit for the day.
Scott. That's your fun fact.
Yep. Fun fact. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew. Oh, fun fact.
We have to have some kind of like Waynesville kind of fun fact thing, So much fun. So many more things to do.
Yeah, I know, but we need a producer and we need money and stuff.
Yeah.
I was actually just looking at Metal Sucks. I don't know this author, Layla Ford. Don't know her.
Author, you said?
Yeah, she's an author on Metal Sucks.
I mean, she's a guest writer. I don't know. I don't really know all of the writers. I know the one guy who does all like the metalcore stuff, like writes his articles, like they talk.
Right.
Like all like, slang and stuff. And
yeah.
While the articles are usually very good, they give me a goddamn headache trying to decipher them.
But it's a whole editorial about how metal makes everything better. And it's basically the gist of it is they take like metal, like Lady Gaga, and they metalize her name, and it actually looks sort of badass with the pentagram, and it's very black metal-ish. And
nice.
They put her in black metal paint. I don't know, but I don't like her music. I don't know. I'm very attracted to Lady Gaga. She is. I think she's pretty sweet to look at.
Okay, I don't hate you for it.
You can't hate me. And she's always naked, which makes it that much better.
True.
Always. Like,
plus.
she just doesn't care. She's like, okay, my boobs, here they are. Like, what? That's pretty awesome. There is really no too bad and sloppy this week. I'm still kind of in the air because I really haven't figured out. There's just stuff that hasn't been too bad or too sloppy for me to even really talk. I mean, there's stuff, but I don't want to classify just any news story as too bad and sloppy.
Listen, Barry, we have to have some kind of integrity here on the show.
Right, and you just don't want to throw down everything saying, oh, this is too bad, this is too sloppy. You can't do that. So I'm trying to mix it up with a new bit, maybe. I don't know. I'm working on it, because we already have, like, the pick of the week, which you do. You peruse and you find something. We do the reviews, and, doing new releases is kind of cliche. But, I don't know. There's just hasn't been anything really too bad or too sloppy to talk about. Right?
True.
Thank you.
David Hayes is pretty quiet.
Exactly. Megadeth hasn't done anything. They haven't released a new album since the last atrocity. I don't know. There's news, but you do the news. So, like, what am I going to do? Oh, my God.
Barry, it's okay. You can do what you want.
Okay. Well,
it's not my thing,
Oh. What am I gonna do?
Please don't do that again.
I mean, there's Bret Michael has a cologne now. Big deal. I don't know. Why does anybody even pay attention to him? And doesn't he realize we know that the bandana is just part of a fake wig? It's kind of like Kane from the WWE. The mask was just...
I never knew that was fake until he took it off, though.
Yeah.
He took it off, I was like, his hair's fake, too.
Hey, I'm gonna throw this at you, that, wrestling's kind of fake.
Shut up. Shut your mouth.
I'm sorry. One thing that was really cool, and I was just reminded of it on the, of course, Metal Sucks page. Last week's episode of South Park was pretty amazing. It was amazeballs. And it basically, long story short, like the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jews all got together, and there was this big concert in the Middle East. And they had this, how like they have the Coexist logo with like, yes. So they kind of had that, but then the logos, they said, oh, these religions, they all come together and they bond, and then all the logos came together to form a super logo, and it was the Van Halen logo, and then Van Halen came out to play.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was great, because it was great, and it was weird, because Van Halen came out, and they actually were playing, the Van Halen songs. But when it was time for Van Halen to talk, it wasn't actually like David Lee Roth talking. It was, So they got the rights to play the music, but I guess they couldn't get Van Halen to come do the voices. I don't know. It was actually pretty cool. And then, our peace broke down in the Middle East, and everybody killed each other. So that's just the way it goes.
Son of a biscuit.
Yeah, I know. But that's South Park. Still relevant to this day. Amazing.
More so than The Simpsons, I hate to say.
I watched The Simpsons not too long ago.
Simpsons aren't irrelevant, but I think...
What?
The South Park is definitely more so, as far as really current topics and stuff like that. Or maybe they just do a better job of mocking them, I don't know.
Well, the deal with South Park is they can make it in a week. So they're super topical. They just... there was a whole special on Comedy Central about it.
I saw it. I forget what the title was. It's like something like Made in 6 days or something like that.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I saw it. It was awesome.
Yeah. And it's because it's amazing. It was always amazing. Like, wow, these dudes are just turning shit around. And like, wasn't this just in the news and they're making fun of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, interesting. Dude whose throat was slashed at DSI Broken Hope show is doing okay, and Broken Hope sent him a bunch of swag, which is pretty cool.
Swag's cool.
Oh, holy shit! Why didn't you even remind me of this? What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I forgot.
What are you supposed to remind me of?
I don't know.
I won some stuff on our Twitter.
Oh, yeah!
Yay, turtles! Last Saturday, I guess it was, FYE, For Your Entertainment, had this contest going where you just basically retweet the tweet and you win shit. And I won the contest. You know, technically Metal or GTFO won, but I was the one who did the retweet. And it's weird because I get a text from you, like, what did we win on our Twitter? I'm like, what are you even talking about? And it didn't even occur to me because FYE followed us before that. And I was like,
I thought that was a little peculiar.
well, I knew I had retweeted them, but I hadn't really put two and two together until you said I won. And shut up. That hurts my feelings. And then I was like, oh, so now it makes sense. They followed us so that they can talk to us. And I checked the tweet and it's like, oh, you guys won. Which is perfectly awesome when you think about it. I mean, who are you going to get to win? Who are you going to choose to win a contest for metal stuff?
Who are you going to call?
You know, who makes sense? Metal or GTFO? You're not going to get like somebody with their last name Kelly Bieber or Belieber, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Hell no.
You're going to choose Metal or GTFO! Exclamation point! I basically won a copy of Toxic Holocaust, Chemistry of Consciousness, and Scott Ian's Metal Underworld, which I'm not exactly sure what it is because what it was like he used to choose like all these CDs and they used to put them on sale for that, you know, a certain amount of time for like a month. He's apparently been doing it a while. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes in the mail. I might actually give out this Chemistry of Consciousness CD. You're thinking about it.
Good Guy Barry. That's your new nickname.
What is my nickname?
Your new nickname is Good Guy Barry.
No, you said nude. Okay, so
No,
you're subconsciously
no,
thinking about me being nude. What is wrong with you?
So many things. Where to begin?
Whatever. So yeah, I won. That was pretty awesome. So
Congratulations.
Go me. I'd like to thank the Academy and FYE for their time. I guess they're pretty big in the metal scene over there at FYE For Your Entertainment. You can follow them at official FYE on Twitter. And maybe they'll do more contests, right?
Yes.
I like it. So, with that being said, Goose, take us into the next segment, please.
The next segment is my pick of the week. Got a cough. Excuse me. This pick of the week is Axeslasher's Anthology of Terror, Volume 1. I found Axeslasher by them retweeting us on Twitter and such, so I looked into them. And they are a kind of horror-themed thrash/death metal band from California, yay. Their album, Anthology of Terror Volume 1, just recently came out. You can purchase it for $6.66 on Bandcamp. And they're just like really hard thrash. Slash, the vocals are... See, when I think of thrash, I always think of Anthrax. It's just who I always go to. And while the music might be more thrash, the vocals are very much more death metal-y. Their influences, which I find great on their Facebook page, are horror movies from the 80s, buckets of gore, and a great set of natural tits. Which, you know, those are three things you really just can't do without.
Right.
EP 6 songs, and they have all the songs are, as you might guess, horror themed. Some of the titles are Mark of the Pizzagram, Axeslasher, Order of the Coven, and Invasion of the Babe Snatchers. Now, if I could, I'd like to read a sample of the wonderful lyrics from Invasion of the Babe Snatchers.
Would you please?
I won't do it justice, so I apologize to Mr. Axeslasher ahead of time. You've come to take your babes away, to feed to our death worms, turn them into human meat sorbet. Say your prayers and come to terms. The shaved apes on this planet Earth deserve to fucking burn. We're your cosmic destroyers. So take what you've earned. Now, if that doesn't sell you on an album,
That was deep. That was really deep.
then there's not much I can do for you. If that isn't enough for you, though, they do a great cover of a song that I didn't even know existed until now, which is Creation's Gucci Gucci, which is a hip-hop song I hear. The kids call it nowadays. And I knew when I heard the song that it kind of sounded different than the rest of the tracks. Like the guitar was a little catchier, I guess you could say. You know, it had a you can definitely pick it out from the rest of the album.
Right.
So for some reason I searched it, and sure enough, you know, YouTube being what it is, and Google, I found it immediately. I listened to it. I said no, and I heard the lyrics, and I said, yeah. So they have a cover. So their version is, of course, way better than the original version.
Much better.
Hip hop is poo. But yeah, I definitely, of course, highly recommend this album, or it would be my pick of the week. You can just go to Axeslasher.com, which will bring you to their Bandcamp page. And if you buy these, let's see, I believe if you buy a physical version, or no, I think if you buy if you buy it, you get an embroidered pizzagram patch.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes, I thought it was for a physical version, but I don't see a physical version listed here in the description. So it says it limited to 100. So they may be sold out. They might not be.
I'm gonna talk about how awesome Axeslasher is, because they would retweet everything we did on Twitter, even though they weren't even like following us.
Yes, like anything I hashtag with Thrash, they just about either favor or retweet.
Which was totally dope. And up until today, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I thought the name was Axeslasher. I don't know why. I thought there was an extra L in there, but it's Axeslasher.
And I didn't mention it, but I wanted to. The cover of the album is absolutely awesome. It's like this kind of 50s retro-looking alien kidnapping a woman, fighting off other alien worm slugs and stuff like that. It's very, very cool artwork.
Very cool. Excuse me. That all being said, I think we should play some Axeslasher off Anthology of Terror Volume 1. Gee, what song would you like to play, Mega Goose?
I would like to play Invasion of the Babe Snatchers,
which
I just read from.
I think we will do that. It's a 2-minute and 30-second love song, so we'll be back to rattle your eardrums some more. What do you say?
Hooray!
Let's see if this works. And there you have it. Axeslasher off of Anthology of Terror Volume 1. That was Invasion of the Babe Snatchers. Ow! The ow isn't actually part of the song. I just threw that in there.
I got you.
I'm sure you did. It's all good in the hood, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying, dog. JR Morningstar kicking it with us in the chat room. Host of Rock and Roll Freak Show over on Radio Billy FM. What's up, West Side, son? West Side. Throw your horns up in the air, son. Gang signs and stuff.
What?
I don't know. Don't listen to me. I don't know why. You would listen to me. Why would anybody listen to me?
Because your beard
is fucking phenomenal.
Your beard is an Adonis among other beards.
It's not the best. I mean, I see other beards and I get
Oh no,
beard,
it's not. I'm not saying it is.
I get beard jealousy sometimes. But
Beard envy?
yeah, and the only reason I do is because I know I can grow a super awesome beard, but because of work, I really can't. So I need to become kind of self-sufficient, aka lottery rich, and then beard just all the way. Screw ZZ Top. I'm going ZZZ Top. I added the...
What?
I know. I'm hardcore.
You are the hardest on the core.
Yeah, I try. It's not easy. But that being said, let's segue into this week's album review. Just tell the good people what it might be.
This week's review is the latest from Motorhead, Aftershock.
Ta-da! You could have said that with a little bit more oomph. Do it again.
A little bit what?
Do it again. More oomph behind it.
This week's review is Aftershock from Motorhead. Is that okay?
No.
There's just no pleasing you.
Nope. Go on.
Oh no, you're starting to show up.
No! Because everybody waits for me to, like, sigh or do my shtick. It's all about shtick.
Is that your thing? Your sigh after my input is your shtick?
Yes, because, seriously.
You know what I realized? You wouldn't be half as funny if I didn't set you up so well.
You're right, I'd be more funny.
Messed up, man. Alright. Aftershock from Motorhead.
I laughed at that.
I was very caught off guard by this album. Mostly because my only experience with Motorhead is pretty much Ace of Spades. We'll discuss more of that later after the review. But heard Heartbreaker first. Obviously, that starts the album off. And the first thing I thought was, this is not what I expected. There's so much more, I think, at least this album, obviously, is so, more of, a hard blues, a hard rock band than metal, which is, I think they kind of get thrown into the metal category from either their earlier work or just, their lifestyle and Lemmy being Lemmy. But there's definitely, a lot of bluesy riffs that I felt throughout the album. Like Heartbreaker, Lost in Blues, Do You Believe? There's a lot of the solos and stuff. They sound very bluesy to me. Not southern rock, but just blues kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really liked about it was Lemmy's bass. Guitar, he doesn't play guitar, he plays bass.
It's a bass guitar, so you can technically say it's a guitar. It's okay.
It's a 4-string guitar, aka a bass.
Bass.
But it just the sound of it was just. I like a bass that sounds it's either really twangy, stands out and overkill, or it's really fuzzy. And his bass was all sorts of fuzzy all around. It was awesome. I really liked it.
Well, that's his signature too. Is a distorted bass.
Yeah, I mean a lot of bass players have that sound. I really like that sound, but his is it's very much his signature. One thing I thought was funny about the album is because a lot of albums sometimes the first half is better than the second half. I find this was so the opposite. The first, with the exception of Heartbreaker, I'd say the first 6 songs kind of didn't do much for me. But once the seventh song, like Dust and Glass, and like from there on, it seemed to just pick up for me. You know? And I like the second half better than the first, which is not usually how I take away an album. You know, and it's just, it was nonstop, just like, you know, balls to the wall rock and roll, which now knowing that, maybe I'll go back and listen to some old albums. I don't know. Something I disliked about it were the fact that some of the songs did kind of have a samey kind of sound to them. Mm-hmm. You know, Lemmy sings pretty much the same, that gravelly voice is in all the songs. And which also kind of, it's funny, like him singing kind of almost made my throat feel scratchy.
Right.
It's, you know, it's just, I mean, it's, I understand that's the way he is. That's the way Motorhead is. That's what I think most fans expect when they hear Lemmy in the Motorhead album. Did I like it overall? I definitely did. Like I said from the beginning, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, in a good way. And I definitely will listen to it again. Like, I listened to it just before the show, just headphones on. And I liked it a lot more than the first listening. So, I enjoyed it. I think I will go back and listen to some more Metalhead in the future.
Metalhead? You're going to listen to some more Metalhead, bro?
I'm going to listen to more Metalhead, which is the Motorhead cover band, because I like cover bands.
Uh-huh.
And as far as the score, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Ooh.
I wasn't going to, but it kind of grew on me a little more. I was leaning towards 3.5 before the show, but I'm definitely gonna give it a 4.
Mm-hmm.
If, you know, obviously Motorhead fans, they all have it anyway. You're
right.
not gonna sway them to buy or not buy it. But if you're on the fence about it, definitely check it out.
Motorhead's Aftershock.
I'm sorry.
See,
it's so funny.
This is why I go second. It's their 21st album. And that's saying a lot. I mean, that's a huge career. That being said, in my estimation, it's probably the 21st album that they put out that sounds exactly just like every other Motorhead album. And of course, we're going to get into this a little after our review and such. Now, I'm not a Motorhead hater, but I'm also not a Motorhead apologist. If a Motorhead song comes on the radio, I'm not one to turn it off, especially if it is like Ace of Spades. So Ace of Spades is kind of played, so it's like, I don't really need to hear this again. But it's still a good song. I mean, it's an awesome, like an anthem. It's pure Motorhead. It's got the sound. It's got the bass, like you said. It's got the gravelly voice. It's Motorhead, and Motorhead has a distinct sound. And they've also been kind of quoted, not them saying this, but a lot of people in the music community consider them like the godfathers of thrash, and to an extent, I think they're right. And being in the game for as long as they've been, they've slowed down. And obviously, Lemmy's had some health problems. I think I read today he's got a pacemaker in his heart now.
I read that also, yeah.
Yeah. But I've never been the biggest Motorhead fan, and I've seen people just kind of grovel over them, which is why I was actually pretty into reviewing this after seeing on Twitter and the reviews, like, people just kind of love this. They said it was a return to form for Motorhead, and I listened to it, and I thoroughly was not impressed. It wasn't the worst album I've heard. It wasn't the best. It was there. It was Motorhead. There was nothing about it that ever made me question, who am I listening to? It was Motorhead. From track 1, Heartbreaker, to track 14, Paralyzed, I had no doubt that I was listening to Motorhead. And just looking at the reviews, it seems that the lowest score given was by Rolling Stone, which is now like a hipster magazine. They give it like a 3 out of 5, but Guardian, Metal Sucks, they give it 4 out of 5, Revolver, 4 out of 5, AllMusic, 3.5 out of 5. So obviously it has a pretty big push behind it, and it's one of those things that I've talked about in the past where I don't know if it's because the album's that good that I'm noticing, and people are talking about it more, or that it's getting a push, or is it getting a push because it's that good, or people being nostalgic? I don't know. It's just weird. Nothing about the album stood out to me. It wasn't a weak album by any means. In past few years, I've been kind of more accustomed to hearing Lemmy and his other band, Headcat, which is more of a rockabilly blues thing, like how you were saying they're more bluesy. But as far as I know, Motorhead's always had that blues theme about them, that kind of blues groove. And again, that shows up more in Lemmy's side band with Headcat, which is with Danny Harvey and not Lee Rocker. I can't think of the dude's name. He used to be in the Stray Cats. He was the drummer. But whatever. It's neither here nor there. I don't know. I don't think that I will go back to listening to said album, which is fine. I'm entitled to my opinion. Does that mean that if I'm listening to, let's say, Liquid Metal on Sirius XM, that I'm going to shut off a Motorhead song? Probably not, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it. And like you said, people who love Motorhead, I guarantee you 99% of them have the album already, or they're going to get it very soon. So I'm not going to sway anybody's opinion in that manner. I don't know, just for me, it didn't really strike a chord. I couldn't believe it was over. I was like, oh, this is over already? Even though it's 46 minutes? I was like, okay, whatever. Again, it's production-wise, it sounds good. It's not just taking away from their sound or their songs. It's just, I don't know, nothing really stood out for me. And I would have to give it a 3 out of 5. And I know that's going to piss some Motorhead people off, but whatever. It's a good album, but it doesn't stand out to me. Sorry, people.
It's alright.
I know. So, being that you gave it a 4 out of 5, I'm going to let you choose the song.
I would like to hear Silence When You Speak to Me, because that is one of my more well-liked tracks.
Oh, that's a nice little 4-minute and 30-second song, so we can get up and do a stretch or something, right?
I'm already standing, but sure.
Oh, well, I'm sitting in my drafting chair. So, off the new Motorhead album entitled Aftershock, this is Silence When You Speak to Me.
Trying to chase, and the illusion, the ancient dream.
Silence When You Speak to Me off the new album from Motorhead entitled Aftershock. I just did a hard out right there. Wow. Way to go. Great audio radio production there, Mr. Lumber Squatch. Yeah, these things happen. God damn it. Where's my producer? Producer! Oh, wait.
Yes, master.
I am the producer. Oh, man. So, you liked it. I just thought it was there. It is what it is. I'm hungry.
Did you have some cocoa coffee or whatever?
No, I had that earlier. I can't. If I have that now, forget it. I will never sleep. I'll be like, what? I'll just be wired. Just like that. Just like that. Anyway, getting into this week's topic. Did we miss the boat? Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, more or less. It's something that I kind of been batting around. I wasn't really too sure how to approach it. But basically, like, I wasn't, I didn't stop listening to heavy metal for a while. I just didn't listen to as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I got into, like, more, like Clutch and more, like, blues and stoner rock than, like, typical thrash or anything else.
Right.
And I only kept up with, like the bigger bands like Metallica or Anthrax and stuff like that. Whereas now I'm kind of getting into some lesser-known bands and bands I never heard of, but might have like a big library, but I just never, listen to them for one reason or another.
Right.
And bands like Motorhead, was a perfect example, which is a great time. They've been around for ever.
Ever.
And this is the first album I listened to. So is it too late to go back and listen to their whole catalog and get into a band like this now? Or do you just kind of take it one album at a time? How does that kind of work? D-Side is another one. I mean, D-Side is a huge band. I never listened to them. I heard a track off their upcoming album that was the album was released, but the single was released a few weeks ago, and it's awesome. So I was like, oh crap, now I gotta go back and listen to old D-Side.
Right.
At the same time, trying to listen to new stuff, because whenever I see someone on Twitter or on Metal Sucks or Metal Injection or whatever, this new album from so-and-so is great, it's their first album, oh my god, Squirrel, now I gotta listen to it. So how do you fit it? How do you fit in all the bands? Do you just kind of say, you get to when you get to them? Do you not listen to the old catalog? You're it's stressing me out, man.
Well, I think what you should do is search out, see if a band like Motorhead's been around, they're probably going to have a best of. Or somebody on the internet is going to have to, put together a playlist of songs that you can listen to. Or even try, you listen to, I was going to say Spandex. Nobody listens. I meant Spotify, and I'm sure you can find a playlist on there that's just kind of dedicated to Motorhead, where it'll just play the random songs from their various other 20 albums other than Aftershock.
Right.
And I think that's the way to go. I think you can always go back and visit a band. The question is, do you feel as though you've missed out on listening to Motorhead now that you've heard Aftershock and really like it?
A little bit, yeah.
Because I see people so into Ministry, and I'm like, they fucking suck. That suck. All right, yeah, I just cannot get into them. I don't understand what the draw is, and I never really understood the draw to Motorhead because they just. And I think maybe part of Motorhead has always been the mystique. Lemmy. Oh my God, he drinks 5 quarts of Jack Daniels an hour, and his liver, he doesn't even have a liver. He's he's like a god. He does coke, and he has this whole mystique about it. He just sits at the Rainbow Room and plays the lottery machine or something like that. And he doesn't live a rock star lifestyle where he's got cars and a house. He lives in this. The motor. Did you see the documentary about Lemmy?
I did not.
Oh, it's phenomenal. You got to search it out. It's actually really good. He's just this dude who plays in this world-renowned band that everybody knows, and I just never understood the draw to Motorhead. I still don't. they're a good band, yeah, but and the best part about this is me emoting and pushing my hands out and doing like stuff with my hands to make you think like I'm really into it or something. I don't know that you can't see, which is really weird. But I don't feel as though like I missed anything on Motorhead, especially after listening to Aftershock and knowing that it sounds like a Motorhead album probably from 15, 20 years ago. But yeah, I think I've been more in that situation more recently with Dillinger Escape Plan, where I knew about them, I heard a song here and there, never quite got it. This new album came out, I'm like, okay, now I need to go back in time. And they don't have the whole catalog that obviously Motorhead does. Mm-hmm. But still, I went back and have progressive, every now and then I will go back and listen to some more older stuff and tracks. And I think that's where this whole newfangled technology of streaming music, like Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify, where you can go back, you don't have to buy their whole back catalog. You can just go back and pick and choose as you please and dibble-dabble here and there.
Let me ask you this one, though.
All right.
When you hear, okay, like Dillinger, like you mentioned.
Yes.
You got their last album.
Mm-hmm.
You like it.
Yep.
Now, do you ever go back, listen to the older stuff, and find that sometimes it sounds so different, like they've progressed so much in like 3 albums? Their first album is like, you really can't get into it. But at the same time, would you think, like this is a good question, but if you would listen to them when they first came out and then followed up, maybe you would have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's always different for those bands that you've been there from the beginning for. Like, for me, it's been Metallica and Megadeth and Anthrax. But I've gone back and listened, I don't remember off the top of my head the older Dillinger, and yeah, you can see an obvious progression, but I still like that I go back and I can hear the roots of that progression. And I do like it. It's not like I went, I don't like this older stuff. Because there's been bands that I've done that too. I've heard newer stuff and then gone back and listened to older music, and I just was like, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know it's happened. Where a new album,
the blood for me this weekend.
Right, and they're okay. I don't know. I can never really get into them.
The good thing about them was their older stuff sounds pretty much like the new stuff. Just
right.
Maybe different quality.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can never really get into them, but yeah, like listening to Dillinger, older Dillinger, I can appreciate the progression in musicianship as they've grown album to album. I might have a different view if I was there from the beginning. But, a lot of people who were there, quote unquote, from the beginning for Metallica don't like the new Metallicas because they didn't like the progression they took. I think it's a band-on-band basis.
Yeah, I always have a hard time going back, listening to old catalogs, only because I think of a lot of times it's sound quality.
Yeah,
definitely. Like new recordings, obviously, in technology, are going to sound better. And some of the older ones, they just don't sound as good, especially like a band, again, like Motorhead, their older stuff is going to sound, almost archaic by today's standards.
Right.
So that always, I think, as a listener, shifts my opinion a little bit. Like, when they remaster stuff, I might be like, all right, that's really great. But then you hear the original, it's like, wow, I would never like this if I didn't hear like a newer version of it. So it's kind of, for me, it's a weird situation, kind of go back and catch up on stuff.
Right. I kind of face that in with psychobilly music, because a lot of older psychobilly is so underproduced, and it just sounded like it was recorded on like a 4-track stereo, and I'm like, oh, that's just not good. And the bands that have stuck around and put out new stuff, it sounds amazing. So when I've listened to like a new album, take for instance a band like Mad Sin, who's been around since the late 80s, I want to say, if I'm, using my psychobilly brain here. A lot of their older stuff I don't like listening to, because I like the newer stuff. I like the more well-produced, the more musically advanced stuff. And the true psychobillies are like, oh, we don't like this newer stuff because it's newer and it's all newfangled. It doesn't have that old edge to it. Well, again, bands grow and develop. they went from a 3-piece to a 5-piece, I think it is. But I don't like going back and listening to their older stuff just because it doesn't have the same feel to me as the newer stuff. I just like the newer stuff that much more. Just sound, like I said, sound quality wise, it's just that much more amazing. It's so much more well produced, and the music is better. It's one of those things. Like, you can go back, and sometimes you get into a back catalog, and what does JR say? Mad City gets better and better with every release. Yeah, I agree with that. It's like the Coffin Cats. So I made you listen to them, and I like all of their releases, but their releases progressively have always been better as each one has come out. And that happens a lot with bands, unlike Megadeth, which are album subsequent after what? Euthanasia or Countdown to Extinction. That's pretty much. That's not true. Not all of them have stunk. Most, but not all. So yeah, you can. I mean, there's always going to be bands you miss out on, but I think you're allowed. You might be called a poser or whatever, but we're past that whole.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I thought the same thing too. It's like right at this point in my life, I can really give a crap less if someone's like, you're not a true metalhead because you don't listen to band X or band Y. It's like, I really don't give a crap anymore. That's
like me calling out somebody who's just got into Metallica, calling them a poser, but they're only like 15 years old. Like, it's, dude, they're 15, relax. I guess. Well, and I talked about that on previous shows too, where like these kids who are like, oh, old Metallica's the best, and new Metallica sucks. Yeah, well, dude, shut up. You didn't grow up with them. I did. I have a right to say they suck.
You don't have the right.
You don't have the right. Overkill is another band that I think they keep putting out more and more quality releases, but I like their older stuff maybe a little bit more. But I think that's because I came up with them.
It's funny too. I think when you come up with a band like Overkill, Metallica, or whoever, the older stuff doesn't sound. Even though you listen to the older recordings, like the originals, it doesn't sound old to you.
Mm-hmm.
It still sounds like you remembered it. That's how it is. But when you hear, like, say, another band from '88 for the first time, it's like, oh, God, that sounds terrible. But it doesn't sound much worse than Metallica or Anthrax or whatever from the same era. But it's just, I think, because you grew up with it and you listen to it, it sounds different,
Well, I think part of that is just the whole, quote-unquote, like, reminiscing part of your brain, which is taking you back to maybe when you first listened to it. And because let's face it, I mean, Overkill's Field of Fire, Taking Over, they weren't the best produced albums, and even Anthrax's Spreading the Disease was a decent album, but their
The Living wasn't the best produced album either.
I thought it was. I liked the production. Yeah, with State of Euphoria, I think they went too overproduced, but I think that's because that was that era. The CD was new. Let's do all the highs. We want to hear highs. No lows. But they finally got it right with Persistence of Time. I think the production for Among the Living, spot on. You couldn't have asked for better production on a thrash album at the time. Just couldn't.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you. All right. So, yes. Did you miss the boat on Motorhead? Maybe. But you can always get on a lifeboat and go back.
I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. I want new stuff, new things.
Right, but you have to be somewhat versed in Motorhead, don't you? Don't you want to be, like, have some sort of working knowledge of Motorhead?
Yes.
Just do yourself a favor. Get like a best of.
Fine.
I know, it sucks, but I get best ofs every now and then.
You can't see the top of my feet right now, like a little kid.
Goose kick! Goose kick! So there you have it. Is there a band that you maybe missed the boat out on, dear listener? Did you miss the boat on a certain band and you want to tell us about it? I started to choke up. Like, literally, I thought my daughter was going to die. If there's a band that you feel as though you missed a boat out, fuck you tell them.
you feel that there is a band that you missed a boat on, or if there's someone, maybe a band that you want to tell us about, let us know. You can email us. You can find us on the Twitter. We're always on the Twitter. We love getting tweets and stuff like that. We love hearing from you guys. Let us know if you think that our whole story is bumpkus. Then let us know about that too.
No, keep that shit to yourself. I don't want to know anything.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I'm very fragile as it is. I don't even hear that kind of criticism.
Yeah, I'm fragile too. If you haven't noticed. I'm like a little flower. I'm a delicate flower. So that's the end of the show. I didn't tell people what I played in the beginning. I didn't tell you what I played in the beginning.
Oh boy.
I actually played... I spoke about this at our Panera meeting this past Saturday. And I got confused because I thought it was Behemoth, but it was Bathory. I played Bathory's cover of Motorhead's Ace of Spades.
Oh.
I want to know what you think. You, too. You and everybody else. Because I'm a big fan of covers. I didn't like this cover. But that being said, it's growing on me.
No.
Yeah. It's growing
like
on me.
Mole?
What's that?
Like a mole?
Yeah, like a big giant Lemmy mole.
Nice.
Not that much yet.
All comes full circle.
Bay Street Rollers? Isn't it Bay City Rollers?
Yes, Bay City.
Why did he put Bay Street?
He's from Canada.
Oh, maybe there is a Bay Street Rollers. You ever think about that?
Maybe the Bay Street Rollers are the Canadian cover band of the Bay City Rollers.
Why is everything in Canada different?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up. Bay City Rollers. Sorry, sir. Saturday night. Saturday night. Ah, good song. No, it's not. Anyway, this has been a wonderful episode of Metal or Get the Fuck Out. Episode number 33 is in the books. Thank you for listening if you listen live. Thank you for listening if you listen to it podcasterized. Please give us good reviews wherever you may listen, whether it be iTunes. Give us a little heart on Spreaker. It's always very sweet of you to do. And Stitcher. I think you can favorite us on Stitcher as well. But I'm not really sure. Just do stuff. You know what I'm saying. And of course, check the website metalorgtfo.com for all pertinent information related to the show and other interesting tidbits posted throughout the week. Correct?
Correct.
We're going to end the show off with some Dillinger Escape Plan. See what I did there? A song called When I Lost My Bet. And we will return next week with another new topic and some more zany antics. What do you say?
I say hurrah.
Hurrah! Take care. See you later. Goodbye. Au revoir. And all that stuff. You. Yeah. I got the hand shit to make a break in there. Nope. It'll happen overnight when I'm sleeping. There ain't never turned out. It's not cool. What song? Wow, I haven't heard that song.
Hey, Dad!